There's a blue rocking chair sitting in the sand, weathered by the storms and well-oiled hands. It sways back and forth with the help of the winds. It seems to always be there, like an old trusted friend. I've read a lot of books, wrote a few songs, looked at my life, where it's going, where it's gone. I've seen the world through a bus windshield, but nothing compares to the way that I see it, to the way that I see it, to the way that I see it when I sit in that old blue chair. From that chair I've caught a few fish and some rays, and I've watched a boat sail in and out of Cinnamon Bay. I let go of a lover that took a piece of my heart, and prayed many times for forgiveness and a brand new start. I've read a lot of books, wrote a few songs, looked at my life, where it's going, where it's gone. I've seen the world through a bus windshield, but nothing compares to the way that I see it, to the way that I see it, to the way that I see it when I sit in that old blue chair. That chair was my bed one New Year's night when I passed out from too much Malibu and died, and I woke up to 100 mosquito bites, I swear. Got 'em all sitting right there in that old blue chair. There's a blue rocking chair sitting in the sand, weathered by the storms and well-oiled hands.
On behalf of our family, I would like to welcome and thank you all for coming to celebrate the life of an extraordinary partner, mother, grandmother, sister, aunt, and cherished friend, our Michele. And looking out into this crowd, I knew there would be an overabundance amount of people as she's touched so many of us. I knew the task of talking about our dear Michele would be very, very hard for me today. Therefore, I've written down my thoughts, because these days I generally begin at point A, and by the time I get to point B, I forgot where I was going. 26 plus years ago, Michele came into my family's life, and she united with Tammy Sue, and they, along with their 4 children, began their journey together. I must say, I for one was skeptical of this union. How very wrong I was about their union and their relationship. And I might add that I very rarely admit to being wrong, and definitely never admit to a crowd this big. I watched 2 loving young women make a loving life together as they raised their children, teaching them the importance of love and laughter, commitment and compassion. Michele truly tried to bestow her perfection upon all of them. However, she did not succeed, as they all had their own way of doing things. And for Tammy Sue, well, that didn't work either. She was the who and the what, and Michele was the how to make it work. And I must say, it worked for all of them. They loved one another deeply, as soulmates do. They enjoyed their life together no matter what it entailed, whether it was a road trip, a long walk on the beach, the snapping of a photo, being with their kids and their grandkids, or working on a project for someone else. I am ever so grateful that Tammy Sue, myself, and our family had the privilege of having Michele in our family and in our lives. We all would have truly missed out in knowing such a warm, loving, and compassionate human being. And at this time, I'd like to read a poem that sums it all up. The day you came into my life, everything changed. You brought happiness, you brought hope, you brought contentment, and most of all, you brought love. A love so amazing, a love so powerful, a love too beautiful to ever be defined. The day you came into my life, you gave me everything, and I'll love you always. And as Michele would kindly put it, it'd be all right, Tammy Lee. I would like to invite you all at this time to raise your glasses as I propose a toast to our dear friend. Although it is difficult today to see beyond the sorrow, by looking back in memory helps comfort us tomorrow. Now I would like to invite anyone that would like to share their special stories to please come up and do so.
Good afternoon. My name is Alan Margulies, and I had the pleasure to work with Michele the last 15 years. First working with her out of the West Palm Beach office. She worked for me on my sales team, and it was always a pleasure to work with Michele. She was such a wonderful person. And over the years, she got letters of commendations from many people. And I just wanted to be able to read a few to you today to let you know that everyone thought so well of Michele. Even back going to 1996, Jim Lunn, one of the vice presidents of Silent Watchman, wrote a letter and he says, Jeff, just a quick note to pass on some good news. I had an opportunity to work with Michele out of Fort Pierce last week. I seldom deal directly with the branches, so it's always a pleasure to meet someone who is polite and responsive as Michele, presenting a positive attitude, and then getting the job done too. It helps all of us look good. She had people from all over the country, from Columbia, South Carolina, right. Again, I want to take a moment of your time to express my sincere appreciation to the outstanding job Michele Vachon did in handling a meeting for service merchandise in Vero Beach. Her professionalism shined as the meeting progressed, and her follow-up documentation to the office was immediate and one of the most thorough I've seen. I'm very impressed with her attention to details. Please pass on Michele my sincere thanks. She's truly a professional and a team player. I'm the sheriff of Indian River County. Dear sir, I want to say I am not a praise in writing type person from the sheriff. Mostly you give out tickets, I guess. But he went on to say my contact with Mrs. Vachon was made as a community-oriented police enforcement deputy sheriff working with the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. I've been trying to identify a false alarm problem with a customer in Sebastian, and I received numerous complaints. I made contact with Michele, and she resolved the issue, took care of it, and it was just a total pleasure to deal with her. I wanted to send my commendations and tell you what a great person you had working for you. We go on, and I've got to tell you, It was always a pleasure to work with her. She always had a smile. She always had something good to say. She was a hometown girl. She used to tell me the stories of raising hogs to take to the county fair so our girls could go to college with the money they raised. So when the time the pig escaped one time, they had to track it down. Always had a little bit of humor and a way to make a day a little bit better. We'll all miss Michele, and we love her. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I know we're all here for a very sad occasion, but when you think about Michele and you look at the wonderful family they left behind, you have to remember the legacy that she left behind. Her meeting Tammy and bringing that part of the family into her life just enhanced what the Vachon family started off in the first place. I wasn't lucky enough to know her for 26 years. 9.5 years ago, Susie brought me down here to meet her family and to meet her sister. And I remember when I got out of the car and I walked up to her and she spoke to me, I'm like, whoa, that's Susie, but with a really great voice. Michele's voice is one of those voices that just lifts your spirits and is in your soul. And if anybody, and I'm sure there's lots of people here that can say this, if you had a problem or you needed some counseling or you were in a bad place in your life, you called up Michele. Speaking to her seemed to calm you. And if she was here now, she would say, think of me fondly, think of me out there on that water, think of the legacy I left behind, her beautiful sparkles. I know that she'll be missed greatly, but please keep her in the light and know that she's happy where she is, and she's the angel looking down and watching over all of you.